Okay. Alright, we're not late. We just had like a 1 minute delay. It's fine. Alright, this is better than my usual. No, it's better than my usual stuff with Raven. We're usually like 2 to 5, so this is an improvement. I know. Oh, alright, the bot's working now though.
Okay, yeah, you're not appearing yet, or on the stream itself.
I'm not on the stream?
No, I don't see it, at least. It still says, oh, there we go.
Yeah, there's like a 20-second delay or something. I don't know the deals of it. But anyways, how's everyone doing today? Today we're going to be going over chapter 274 of the BLUELOCK manga, as well as talking about, you know, a bunch of other stuff. You know, because why not? I got a ton of people here this time. Usually it's just me and Raven. Raven can't make it, so tough shit for him. We get a bunch of cool people on here. We got Suzuls, Sane, and Suki. I'm gonna let them introduce themselves. In order, you guys can decide what the order is you want to do that.
How about the new guy introduce himself first?
Yeah, you haven't been on the stream before.
Adam.
Alright, yo, what's going on, guys? My name is Sane. I'm a mod on Air's Discord. And yeah, that's basically it.
Yeah, he's dope. He keeps our Discord in check, which, by the way, we have a Discord. Link is in the description. Go over there. Go join it, all right? Because we're going to be doing more events and game show type things that the Discord is going to be a part of. And I'm really going to need a lot of, like, the Discord's help with one of the game shows I want to do. So if you want to, you know, have your say and affect one of the game shows, go join the Discord. It's in the description. Sizzles, your turn. You introduce yourself, man.
Yeah. Hi there, I'm Sean, run a channel called Suzuls, and yeah, I do literary analysis of BLUELOCK. I look at stuff like themes, story structure, character writing, imagery, metaphors. Yeah, and I hit, at some point my biggest hit was that I said Nagi was going to fall off before it was cool to say that, and I've been chasing that high ever since. Thanks for having me.
No problem. I'm happy to have you here. And then you guys know Suki from the game show that he lost. But a lot of them.
Yeah, say Toshi's favorite glazer. Yeah.
Second favorite glazer. I'm number one. I don't want to hear it.
No, bro. Your PFP is not Seitoshi. Mine is. I paid good money for that PFP too. But right. Yeah, y'all know who I am. No need to even introduce myself.
Yeah, and again, all of their channels are linked in the description. Go over there, go sub to them. They make awesome content. If you want to see more of them here, you know, go sub to them there as well. I do also want to say that the channel is now sponsored. We now have an actual legit sponsorship on the channel, you know. So this channel and the subsequent rest of the videos are going to be sponsored by this website called Anime Express. They have tons of cool clothing, figures, statues, jewelry, all anime themed and, you know, Japan culture. It's awesome. And what's awesome is that if you guys use the code ARROW10 at checkout when you're, you know, going over to the website and buying some cool stuff, you'll save 10%. And, you know, I get a little cut of that, you know? So they'll pay me too. So you save money, I make money, you know, it's a win-win thing. And if you want to get some cool stuff, because they do have a ton of BLUELOCK stuff, like the jerseys, they have the BLUELOCK U20 jerseys there. So if you want to cop yourself one before season 2 starts, because season 2 is going to be awesome, go over to their websites at the description as well, and, you know, go buy them and use the code to save some money. But anyways,
the necklace is fire, bro.
The necklace is fire. I ordered the necklace myself. You know, I'm going to be wearing it for the majority of the streams. But anyways, so we're going to be talking about chapter 272, like I mentioned before. We're going to be going about giving our theories, our thoughts, as well as some, you know, we have some topics after the chapter review to go into, because we have, you know, a lot of stuff to deal with, a lot of stuff to talk about. So, let's just get rid of the title. There we go. Nope, that's the video description. Well, all right. So, the chapter begins with the narrator and the announcer saying again 3 times, the ball is with PXG, BLUELOCK's number 1 Rin Itoshi. And the beginning of the chapter says, just a goal isn't enough. Seeking his own ego, Rin once again heads towards the brink of death. And the chapter is called No Longer Rivals. So Rin begins to rush towards Isagi, and Isagi says, I don't get Rin. He abandoned his goal. Has he gone crazy? Is he an idiot? He started again from the beginning just because his goal didn't suit him. A monster. whatever it is, it's comprehensible. I think he means to say it's incomprehensible because he says incomprehensible later as well. But Rin sends the ball with a pass. He sends it to Nanase, who sends it directly back, breaks past Corona. And Izagi continues to monologue by saying, I can't read his mind. What do I do? How do I stop him? It can't be predicted by logic. My brain isn't working. An incomprehensible being. He is scary. As Rin rushes towards Isagi and says, is that all you got, Yoichi Isagi? So, at this point, what do you guys think about the chapter? So, anyone chime in if you had a good thought.
I don't even know what to say, bro.
You think it was really... You like it, San?
You didn't?
I mean, I'm just a Rin hater.
How can you hate him? Like, you just don't like his character, or you just don't think he's that good? What's the...
No, he keeps botting my boy. Can't let this shit
Isagi guy?
No, but like, you should, if you're an Isagi fan, you should really like Rin, because every time Rin bodies him, Isagi will get one up over him.
Yeah. Like,
you know that Isagi's getting amazing feats right after this, right?
Yeah, like Isagi. The thing is that Rin by far is better than Isagi and has been better than Isagi throughout the entire series. Rin has always been number one in every key aspect of the series. He was number one. He was the first person to enter the second selection. He was the first person to finish the 100 goals challenge. He was ranked 100 after the second selection. He was the top scorer. He was placed center forward because he was the best player in Blue Lock, and he's been number one in the NEL, aside from the 1 week where he didn't play, where Bato took the number one spot, and he immediately took it back with a hat trick that not only equaled Bato's feats, right, but he also didn't have a new Gen 11 supporting him, and he had a 114 million increase over Bato. Like, his goal was valued, his hat trick was valued higher than Bato was, and even now, Rin is still the best player. Isagi's great, don't get me wrong, but he's nowhere near Rin's level in terms of just being as good of a player. But
question: would you expect Isagi to be better than Rin by the end of this match? Because that's kind of where I assume it's heading, right? Because when all of this started, Isagi says heading into the PXG match, I'm not going to settle for second place anymore. Like, this is it. This is the final moment where he faces off against Kaiza and where he faces off against Rin. And what's at stake here is, whoever's, the number one of the NEL and, by implication, the contender for being the world's best striker. So, like, how close is it at this point, I guess?
You asking me or just the whole...
General, I guess, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think I don't think that at the end of the NEL, Isagi is going to be better than Rin. I think Rin will still be better. However, I do think that with the events of the last chapter, I think that solidified Isagi beating Rin in terms of NEL value. So, Noah specifically said that while strikers are valued highly, other clubs do value people who play in the midfield, like what Isagi's doing. And in the last chapter, Loki specifically said that if what Rin did was in an official game, he would have been banned and kicked off the pitch, right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because despite Loki and Noah being interested and being like, this is awesome, what is happening, they still know that if this was an official match, they would have gotten booted. They would have gotten kicked off the pitch. And because Loki and Noah aren't the club owners, they're just people who are playing for the club, they don't necessarily have a huge say in value. So I think that these club owners aren't going to have the same mindset of like Loki and Noah are going to have, and they're going to be like, listen, we don't want a player who's going to have an opportunity to tie the game up considering the other team is 1 goal away from winning. We don't want a player who is going to throw away the chance of us tying the game and bringing us back to that victory because they just weren't satisfied with the opponents. That's not something we want. And he's still going to get a high value because he's breaking past all these players, and That still shows his high levels of skill, right? But it's not enough to counteract the fact that PXG right before could have tied the game. They could have tied the game and they would have had an even shot at beating Bastard München. But Ruin decided, nah, I don't want that. That's something that these club owners are going to look at and be like, that's not something we want for a player on our team. So they're definitely going to do some kind of decrease in value. The skill is up there, but in terms of compatibility and usage on the field in terms of these clutch moments where you're going to need that skill, it's not something they're going to want.
Okay, so basically what you're arguing is Isagi will be the #1 in the NEL based on the technicality, not based on actual, feats, essentially. And that's kind of all the development in the NEL is moot because Isagi will still be at the same spot he was before the NEL, namely, behind Rin.
Yeah.
And that none of this is going to matter, actually.
Yeah. I think that Isagi also, this match has done a lot more than Rain. Also, I think his name is Trishula. I've never seen him in this chat before. Maybe he's new to me, or maybe he's someone from your channel.
He's a fan of my channel.
Okay. I do read chat, like as I'm talking, I do read the chat, so I see all your questions, I see all your comments, but that's something we're going to bring up at the end of the chapter review, because that's what we're focusing on, like the start of this stream. We want to focus on the chapter review, and then we get into like chat topics and we get into stuff. But we also do like super chats. I'll priority super chats come through first. So if you do super chat, in the instance that you do, not saying you have to, but those take priority over the chapter review as well. So wherever we are, we'll stop. We'll talk about whatever you comment, and then we'll continue with the chapter review. But I do look at chat. I don't want to make it feel like you guys are just here talking and we don't pay attention to you. You guys are a huge, important part of this like channel. That's what makes the channel is the community. So yeah, I do pay attention. But like back to what I was saying, Rin hasn't done as much as Isagi has. Like this is until Ruin entered Flow, his offensive performance was very limited. And considering he's a center forward, he's mostly been playing defense, having to stop Kaiser, having to stop Isagi, because no one else could. But now that he's in Flow, the roles are switched. Kaiser and Isagi, the offensive midfielder and the center forward, are having to pull back to stop him because no one else can. It's just one of those situations of Ruin hasn't done as much as Isagi this game. I think Isagi's twin gun volley is also going to play a huge factor. He's performed a lot. His twin gun volley let him beat out Kaiser and Ruin. Something that from another perspective, Kaiser might have just been there from support from an outside perspective to support him, but we know he wasn't. But getting past Ruin and beating the goalie with a new weapon that's never been seen before is definitely going to shoot his value up at least 30 million in my opinion. And then his performance definitely puts him at Ruin's level. I think it all comes down to Isagi's new meta vision. Does he stop Ruin from scoring? Does he stop anyone else from scoring? Because I don't think Isagi's going to score the final goal, but that's just me. So I think it just comes down to like whatever happens, So I don't think Isagi's going to win. Sorry, I did a lot of rambling. I apologize. So anyone else wants to have a say in that?
Yeah, exactly. I was just going to ask Stan, Fofo, if you have takes of your own here.
I actually had one take, and it was because of Sean's channel. One of the commentators talked about Igaguri gonna destroy Rin, like with his militia foul thing. Like that actually is a plot hole that could work because of Rin has been so close to getting VAR twice, and Rin just stopped the game. So this guy's not mentally okay. I hope someone can find him a psychiatrist or something. But yeah, Rin is just gonna keep on getting exposed, and clubs are really gonna not like him.
Zion, you got anything for it?
I'll say more after the chapter.
After the chapter? But yeah, I just don't think that he's gonna be able to do anything that Rin is better. Rin is better than Isagi, but Isagi's gonna have a higher value to the game performance. But that's just me. All right, so the chapter continues with Rin and Isagi having a one-on-one, and Rin says, "Come with a resolve to die. Come to kill me with such a lukewarm existence. You are disqualified to be my rival." As Rin hits a cross elastico nutmeg through Isagi's legs. I'm gonna take a quick pause here.
you should.
When I read this chapter and I saw the leaks for this moment, I had just woken up, but I was so excited because I had recently drawn the panel of Sai performing the cross elastic on Namegon Rain, and I love it. But so to see this less than a week later is so cool to me. And when I'm comparing the two, Sai's look so refined. And I know that this is something that Rin probably hasn't trained to do. This is just something he's doing now. It looks so inefficient. Like, he did the tap, but you could see how his body's postured in comparison to Sai. He looks so much more hunched over. His arms are so much more stretched back. Like, it's all like he looks less refined. And with Rin here, he's focusing more on insulting Isagi than actual form. Because if he does it, he would want to just keep going. But he's literally stopping. His arms are still stretched behind him to say, you are not my rival anymore. To let him hear that and then go. Like, it's so much more unrefined. And it's cool because that's the whole thing about Rin's flow state. It's the opposite of Sai. Sai is all about being refined, being all dignified, destroying something beautifully. Rin's is the opposite. Exactly. And it's so nice to see that comparison here. And as an artist, I love how they drew this. I don't even know where I would begin, personally.
It's gonna be
there's so much going on, and I just love it. I don't know. This is me. Anyone else have anything to say on this?
No, I absolutely love this as well. It's so cool to see kind of the Rin spin. I was looking for the panel of Sai. Just took me ages to find it in my folder. And you're absolutely right. Sai isn't even looking at Rin, right? In the U20 match. He's got his sight firm on the goal. And Rin isn't like that. He's out there to kill, to destroy hideously. The other thing, actually, let me just kind of go one page back. What also really strikes me, talking, because this has been ongoing with Rin, right? The talk about, playing with the resolve to die, that's harkening back all the way to the first 3v3, right? Where he says to Isagi, well, you're not treating this like a battlefield.
Like a battlefield.
Exactly. And now that's kind of coming back at the moment where Rin is again, really presented as leagues ahead of Isagi and crushing him, which I thought was a very cool callback.
Yeah. If you don't mind me asking, do you do like analysis like for work? Like, you seem very, you say you do literature analysis. Is this just like your personal hobby when doing stuff? Or is this like, do you do this for like work or?
Yeah. So basically, I did a PhD in ancient Greek. I finished that about a year and a half ago, and so I've got a normal office job now. So the channel for me was a way to kind of keep the literary analysis somewhere in the system, if that makes sense. Because I thought it was a shame if I kind of just stopped doing that altogether.
Yeah, I got you. You just seem really like, I was watching your video. You seem very like really good at analysis. Like, I love being analytical with my videos, but I don't even hold a candle in terms of literature analysis. So I really enjoyed it. I really enjoy it.
Which one was this, by the way?
This was the newest one, the math one that
that one
Suki was talking about. The how many chapters are left in PXG.
Yeah, I was just thinking, could I, actually get this to work, see if the numbers might make sense, and I had no idea if I would have a video or not, but it turned out I got something decent out of it.
But yeah, do you guys have anything to say? Like, Suki, San, you have anything to say?
Not really.
Later on.
Later on, all right. Let's continue. We'll continue. So, Isagi says shit and gets knocked on his ass. Hiyori screams Isagi, and Raichi says, damn it, what are you doing? And Isagi says, resolve to die. Shut up. I've got it too. Though it's probably different than Rin's resolve. No matter how many times I've lost, even if I die, I've always reborn and come back. I'm Yoichi Isagi, the genius of adaptability. This is one of my favorite Isagi panels in the entire manga. It's so good. It's literally the Isagi panel. Like, if you need an Isagi panel, this is it. And this moment here is something that I had this conversation with Raven about a little bit. it mirrors his Manshine City moment where you could see the puzzle pieces around his brain, but it's never expanded over his face like this. And I think it's really interesting. Do you think, because I had this convo with Suki here, do you think that this is an awakened form of metavision? Do you think that Isagi's metavision has evolved from here?
Yeah, I would say I wouldn't give it a new name like how you were trying to give it Omnivision, but
Oh, this is 100% something new. 100%.
but I feel like it's just like a new stage, like you know, Super Saiyans, Dragon Ball with like their stages of Super Saiyans. I
You
feel like
think
it's
the Metavision 2?
not Metavision 2, but like it's not even supposed to be called Super Saiyan 2. It's supposed to be called like I forgot the original name, but yeah, I feel like it's something like a new stage of Metavision, sort of say.
No,
He's
I think
doing the
Omnivision just
success.
sounds dope as fuck. I think
It would
Omnivision.
be cool as fuck, but I don't know if the author would give it a new name in the same arc. But
Not in the same
Omnivision-
arc, but that's what I think it's going to be called.
Yeah, I know in a different arc it would be called something else, but right now I think Metavision is still like I want it to be like the main focus of this arc, and then in later arc they introduce a new name or something.
Mangekyo Metavision.
If you say, okay, he's doing something new, how would that work? Because kind of, I know it gets Super Saiyan a bit, but Metavision is still just him, turning his head as he runs, right? Like, how do you expand on that logically?
In
He
terms-
doesn't turn his head, and he has eyes all around his head. Yeah.
Yeah, he just grows eyes.
Yeah.
I
What
think
does he need to look?
because what Isagi does with his Metavision, he doesn't do it to this extent, right? But he mostly plays just by analyzing current events. I think what this is gonna do is basically not an example of increasing his vision. It's more an increase to his brain processing. He can input information faster. He can do it better. Like the reason the Metavision is expanding off of his head, it's because it's no longer just his eyes that are thing. It's literally expanding off of his face. Like you can see, he doesn't even have the normal Metavision pattern in his eyes anymore. Like it's not there anymore. It's off of his face, and you can see the emphasis on his brain. Like and in the later panel, his hair is also shown to be white. The fact that they're not just focusing on his face, but also his hair, gives me the direction of they're going for something with his brain more than his eyes. I think what he's going to do is not only is he can still input information like crazy. Those puzzle pieces are signifying that his range has also expanded. Not only can he cover the field, but can also cover past events. He's reflecting on everything. Because Isagi usually plays just by inputting current information and the new versions of players. I think he's going to input every moment that he's experienced with these players back to where he first matched up against them. So like Karasu, back to the third selection. Shido, back to the third selection. Sai, back to the U20 match. He's going to process every possibility of all of these characters. And with all those possibilities, process them easier and quicker in his brain to see the future faster, to be able to get there. Because the problem with Isagi is that he trained his body to use Metavision at 100%. So if he continued to train his body to be ambidextrous, he continued to train his body to use his twin gun volley and to be able to use his left foot better. His physical stats have far surpassed where his Metavision was, where the Metavision was required. So now his Metavision and his brain have reached that point where they are even. His Metavision is now catching up to his physique rather than his physique catching up to his Metavision. He's able to process all this information much faster now. So I think that's what's going to be helpful with going against Rin and Shido, because they're both now unpredictable players. They both play like unpredictable players, and this is where this Metavision that can predict the unpredictable is going to come in. That's my thought of what it's going to do. But
Oh, okay, right. No, I like that. I'm just right now scrolling through the volumes because I swear to God there is one earlier panel where Isagi has this puzzle piece brain, and I just can't remember where
it's in Manshine. It's
in
Manshine.
Okay.
It's in Manshine City. It's towards the end of it. I think it's the chapter before, or a couple chapters before Ryo and Nagi do like the shot like pass, and then Nagi traps it in front of the Gagamaru. like he did in the third
Okay.
selection, which I think is like 192. No, that's his. It's like 194.
What are we looking for?
We're looking for the Isagi brain panel. Chat, if you guys want to help us real quick, can you guys go ahead and try and find it? I think it's around like 190 something.
What is he doing in that chapter?
It's the chapter that I think it's around the chapter that he has the shot that Nagi and Ryo do their shot like pass combo that they kind of mirror in the third
195 or
selection.
194 should be, because I think I know what you're talking about now. Wait, no, it's a bit before, so 193. Let's check there. No, that's when Chris comes, so it has to be 194 and 195.
It's not 195. I'm just kind of scrolling through it.
Yeah, I already checked 194. I mean, meant to say 96. Yeah, I think I'm getting close. Oh, wait, no, Yukimi already shot. Damn it. 198? What happens there? Isagi does stop them with the thing there, but he doesn't really have the brain explosion.
No, he doesn't.
He stops Nagi and Ryo's thing. It's like that Metavision Taichon where Isagi first reveals Metavision for the first time. Like it's a big brain looking down on the field. It's
but that's not the one I'm thinking of. Anyways, like
that's not the one
I
I'm
want to be holding
thinking
this
of,
up
but that's
here.
the one that's in that chapter. Wait, do you mean his brain thing? Because the brain one was shown in the Barcha match, I think. Like when Isagi was about to steal the ball from Kaiser and
the chapter is called Crossflow. That's the chapter. The chapter before, the chapter after is called Crossflow. I'm looking at the exact panel here.
Which number is this?
I don't know the number. The way to show his worth that he discovered in the battlefield where he can't fight back. Yoichi Isagi make your discovery explode.
Yeah, chapter 166.
Is it 166?
That's
Is
the
it
Barcha match. I knew it. Let's go.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's
Hey.
Barcha.
Let's
It's
go.
Good call.
But
Yes, there we go. Okay.
yeah. But yeah, if you compare the two, it looks very similar. Also, we have 50 people in here. Awesome. Thank you guys for tuning in. This is like
Google's
one of the
carrying
highest
us
in the
here.
Yeah, this is like the highest since like Hirio's stream. Like it's insane. While we're doing this, while we're on a little bit of a pause, I want to bring up this theory that people like to mention, and I don't understand the context. Isagi will unlock his childhood ego. Where has it ever said that his ego was different from when he was a child? He understood his ego,
Thank you.
but I don't think there's ever been a moment where he's had a childhood. We haven't even really gotten a childhood Isagi. Like the first one we got was like in the first episode of the anime, or like the first couple chapters where he's sitting in front of a TV watching Noa Noa on TV. But he doesn't even really have an ego until Blue Lock. Like he never really had a childhood ego. That's why he didn't like.
Like he
This is from the light novel essentially, and to be
The
honest,
light novel. Okay.
personally, I don't care for it because the light novel chapter of Isagi, so it starts with, as a kid, he has these super senses where he can see mosquitoes from super far away and hear stuff that kids can't. He predicts the rain, and then in middle school, I think he goes like, the coach says, okay, we're all a team, you have to play like a team, and Isagi as well, but I want to score, and then that's kind of hammered out of him. But I don't like it because it feels very retcon-y. It doesn't feel like that links up to how he's presented in the early parts of the manga at all. So personally, I just kind of choose to ignore the light novels for canonicity.
Yeah, I don't ignore them for that thing, but I think it's more like Isagi didn't really have a childhood ego. He just wanted to score goals because any soccer player kind of wants to score goals. Like, especially as a kid. Like, if you're a kid, as a soccer... maybe I'm just making this up off my own expectations, but, like, as a kid, if you're going to play soccer, you obviously want to score goals because it's cool to be the one who scores the goals and be the reason that your team won. It's not really a childhood ego. It's just more like a childhood passion. That's the part of soccer. Like, as a kid, no one really goes, yeah, I want to be defender. Everyone wants to score the goals because the goal scorers get all the love, get all the attention, get all the hype, right? That's the whole thing of, like, as a kid, that's all that you can imagine. Like, but as the observing thing, that's just him just subconsciously using his standard weapon. Like, he's always had great spatial awareness, and that was drilled at the beginning of the series, right? Like, in the series, that's his main weapon is spatial awareness. He doesn't have a childhood ego. It's just childhood passion. Anyone as a kid is gonna want to score goals, and then he's like, all right, but you gotta work for everyone. You know, I gotta make sure everyone gets, you know, playtime, or I gotta help, because we can't win. When you get older, you're gonna learn. Sorry, hold up one second. You're gonna learn as you get older that, yeah, you want to be the best goal scorer, but you need to support your team as well, because it's about, you're gonna want to win the thing. Because they're looking at it as, yeah, you could do really good, but you also want to win. Like, if you have to abandon your own goal to win, that's what they're going to drill into you as a kid and as you get older. Blue Lock just goes against that ideology, and he realized that. So if you want to consider his childhood ego anything, his childhood ego is the one that we get introduced to in the series, because he had the ego of wanting to be a goal scorer by himself. Then he got conditioned throughout, like, the rest of his life, and then he went to Blue Lock, and then he reawakened it there. His ego has been the same throughout the series. It's just that period in between the light novel and at the beginning of the series before Blue Lock that he didn't have that ego. That's just what I think. So,
yeah, no,
I don't think that
I
exists.
think that's very fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing I do like, just kind of what's interesting. This is a video I'm probably going to make like 3 down the line or something. The NEL is really interested in childhood suddenly. Like, if you look at earlier backstories for like first and second selection, it's all kind of your secondary school, your high school, your middle school years. And suddenly the NEL is going way back. And the reason for that, at least that's kind of the video I want to be making, is because the NEL is the point of transition from childhood to adulthood, because, you know, that's also the transition from amateur to professional, essentially. So that's kind of if we are, and that's also why both Rin and Kaiser are characters who are essentially trapped in their childhood. If you kind of look, you know, we got Rin's backstory where, like, he's a kid who wants to break things, and that's still the point, is that still holds true. He never kind of grew, or he slightly grew out of that, but now he fell back into these childhood habits that his parents wanted him to grow out of. And Kaiser, of course, you know, wasn't able to process his childhood trauma, still has this deep desire that he's repressing from being a kid and not quite dealing with that properly. Sorry, anyway, that's just kind of throwing stuff out there.
Yeah. Anyone else have anything to comment on that?
No.
No? But yeah, I agree. I don't know. I don't really have anything else to comment on that hasn't already been said, but alright, let's keep going with the chapter. So, we continue with Rin sending a pass to Charles and says, hey, you incompetent contrarian, I don't need any more of your sloppy passes. Don't adjust, just smash the ball. Give me your impulse. And Charles is a little shocked, but he's interested, and says, you're tripping, striker. Alright, I will. I'll give you the nastiest pass. And Loki says, good, Charles, be guided. Yoichi says, here it comes, be on your guard. And Zantetsu says, super acceleration as he comes in to block Kunigami. Isagi's using his awakened metavision thing here, and all these puzzle pieces are flying around and such. Kunigami's struggling, Kaiser's getting ready, and Rin says, that's right, you guys are broken. This isn't soccer anymore, let's kill each other instead, as he goes to rush Kaiser. And Kagamaru seems ready. Charles breaks past Kiora and says, it's not just you. And Kaiser and Rin are matching up. And Charles continues by saying, who's gone crazy? And he does a Rabona cross as he chips the ball into the air. Kaiser can't stop Rin as Rin breaks past him and uses his hand to stop him, like he did in the U20 match, which I think was a very interesting detail. Flies over the field. And Raichi says, drawing them in and crossing to a distant area, damn it. And Hiyori says, a top level technique. And the only one who's able to read and react to this pass is Itoshi Rin. And Shido says, and a special demon, you Goofy. I've come to kill you, you unofficial rival. So now Shido is free, and Rin is here, and they're both fighting for the pass. And Charles says, "That's right. That's the nastiest part. A shooting point that you both can reach. Go on, kill each other, strikers." And that's where the chapter ends. And the final remark is, from now on, it's unpredictable who will seize the coveted goal and reign on the field. To be continued in Crash Shoot. Is it supposed to be Crash Out? It says Crash Shoot. I think it's supposed to be Crash Out, right? Crash Out, right? To be continued in Crash Out. Next chapter will be 20 pages. So we're getting an extra double spread from this chapter. From the next chapter, we're getting an extra double spread, which is very interesting.
You think you were gonna get a cover page?
Oh,
No, because we usually get don't we usually get cover pages once per volume, and we already get the Master Striker
yeah,
one.
that's true. This is the end of this volume, so probably close to the end of the next one. Yeah.
I think there's gonna be a fight between Shido and Rin, like a 1v1 or something, like about who can get.
Snap at each other real quick, and then Isagi gets. Nah, Isagi's not stealing the ball yet. I feel like Isagi will cook after the goal.
I think Rin is gonna realize what's happening. He's gonna let Isagi and Shido destroy each other. So he's gonna back off, have Isagi try to stop Shido, and then Rin get the loose ball to score. Because I don't see Shido scoring another goal. I see Rin doing it. But with Isagi's new metavision, I don't know what's gonna happen. So.
Bro, Zantetsu, I did not expect him to cook this quick for Kunigami, but like. I'm pretty sure in 276 they'll explain Karasu telling this guy how to do it or whatever.
Yeah.
Because there's no way they're gonna leave that unexplained for sure.
No, yeah. But
yeah, unless like Shido and Ren like do some sort of like direct shot X Kaiser impact thing. Like how Izzy and Kaiser did that.
Who would they give the goal to though? Like say, they wouldn't do like the They wouldn't do the thing of like it would be Rin / Shido, right? Like on the goal thing, because usually at the end of the game they'll have.
Last. So I don't know.
But I think if they do that, it throws away Rin's goal. I think like if Rin scores off of that, I think it just kind of throws away. Like I think Rin definitely needs to score an individual goal, as opposed to teaming up with Shido in that instance.
No, I don't think he does.
How do you think Rin can destroy Shido?
Baiting him. Using him as bait. Like, I don't know what else Shido can do here. Shido's a direct shooter.
Self shot, so sort of say, like first selection, something like that.
I mean, unless like Kunigami comes out of nowhere and like just blocks Shido, then Rin could have it. I don't know.
And especially with 2 extra pages, we have to think about what's going to happen next chapter, because it won't just be an immediate goal. The goal will probably happen at the end of the chapter. It'll probably happen at the end of the chapter.
Rin backstory or something like.
No, we already.
Not backstory, but like similar to Kaiser, like how he's going through internal thoughts or something.
You think we can get you think we might get a small Shido one, like we did with Kiora, how it's just like half a chapter?
For Shido's backstory, I don't want it to be emotional. I want it to be the funniest shit possible, bro.
Yeah, I want like maybe 12 pages of it to be Shido chapter, and then the remaining 10 to be the brought back to the match or something. Because with 22 pages, they're adding 2 extra pages for a reason, and it's obviously because of a goal. But what did they get? Why do they need 2 extra pages? Is my concern. Is why do they need 2 extra pages for the goal? I get it to hype up, but in a moment where the pass is coming down, there's not a lot of game that could be played. If they are going to end on the goal, which they most likely will. So what's going to happen? What's going to be the filler between the ball dropping and the ball coming down and the goal happening? What's going to be the filler to kind of fill up the extra space?
It's because like Rin assuming Rin scores, this has to be him at like the peak of his abilities, right? And what kind of for me plays into this, that's why I found this so cool, is Rin and Shido were equated going into U20, where Sai picked Shido, Ego picked Rin. They're both kind of equal. They are incompatible. So now I really like the idea that the way to really consolidate Rin's status is he has to settle his score with Shido for, the final time, for the first time, I guess, really. So I think there's actually going to be a decent amount of that. Maybe also Isagi coming in one more time, just to show Rin at on the top of the world, basically.
Yeah. I don't know. It's one of those things. I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do for this. But, anyways, so we have reached the end of the chapter. Does anyone have any remaining thoughts? Before we get into some interesting debate topics or chat requested topics.
Gojo.
Isagi's Gojo. That's Isagi's new meta vision. It just lets him have infinity.
Yeah.
Suki, you got anything?
I really don't know what to say. I really love the Rin nutmeg. That was my favorite part of the chapter, bro. Because like
that
you
was
just did a post like 2 days ago about the saving for like to promote your Instagram. And like Say's already gone, bro. But here Rin is still taunting. It's such an ideological.
Alright, so chat, this is where you submit your requests that you want us to talk about. We'll maybe go through as many as we want before we decided we want to end
chapter.
Stream. What's up?
Let's do start the chapter. Make a poll between like 3 people to see who is the star of the chapter.
Okay, yeah, that's a good one. That's actually a pretty good idea. Let me pull.
Who are other contenders except Rin and Charles?
Well, Kaiser, Isagi, they're definitely contenders for being star of the game. Not of the chapter, but of the game.
Oh, the game. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, but of the chapter, it's definitely Rin. Rin is definitely, in my opinion, the star of the chapter. Like, Shido got 1 panel. You really want to say that he's
Rin and Charles.
Star of the chapter? He got one panel, and
This is tough. I think it's Isagi so far who's the star of the game, and I don't even like Isagi. I hate that guy. I don't know why.
I just want to say something about like the Isagi thing before. So like in the Bartra chapter with the brain thing, like he was in flow state, like with his brain out and like the hair like transparent or whatever.
Yeah.
So like, but like in this chapter, like his like eyes like were like puzzle pieces and shit.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder if that's like a new like form of flow.
Yeah, I thought that too. I think this is his flow state. I think this is his specific flow state, and it's not that hard to ask, not to ask, but to assume, is because Rin's flow state gives him that unique vision style. We don't know what it does, but it also gives him the new aura. Bachata's monster trance makes his aura completely cover him and make him play a lot more different than he usually does. So I don't think that having this visual for his flow state is that far-fetched. I think it'd be really interesting, but it also brings up it also draws into perspective who gets a unique flow state versus a standard one. And if so, does the standard one still imply with those unique eyes, like the squiggle eyes? Is that the indicator for flow? If so, Isagi doesn't have that here. Bachata didn't have it here. Rin doesn't have it here. So what's the indicator anymore? Is it still an indicator? Is that incomplete flow? It all comes down to what decides it,
I might have missed it. Suki, did you say, just kind of comparing it to Barcha, that the brain comes about when Isagi finally finds his flow, finally finds his adequate challenge, right?
Yeah, because he does say to Noah it's destroying Kaiser, but it's like at the end of the game he says, this is what I had to do to take our team. Like this team is ours. Like it's no longer Kaiser's team.
No, but even like if you are in chapter 166, like the spread right before the Isagi brain panel, it says literally challenge-based concentration flow. And that's what he's calling forth right there.
Yeah, I was trying to assume that basically Isagi has his goal set on destroying Kaiser, which is his challenge, and he's putting like everything into it. So now in this chapter, it's like his challenge is now to become better than to at least tame the monster, so he can like win this game for himself to get that final goal, right?
Yeah, actually, I'm just thinking that why would he kind of reach the peak of flow? It's because Rin is going, he's unreadable. That's like Isagi's whole shtick. He reads what other people do, so he has to kind of perform at a higher level than before. and that's tapping into his adaptability. That's tapping into, I say that, the core of his being, and he has to use it, every fiber of that to keep up with Rin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So-
get what you mean.
Yeah, so apparently people believe, well, not apparently, it makes sense. The start of the chapter, 70% went to Rin, 16% went to Isagi, 8% went to Shido, and 4% went to Kaiser.
That's fair. Kaiser got just kind of dusted off by
Are you gonna put
Wait,
Charles in there?
you put Kaiser in and not Shara?
Is whatever.
No, I
Wait,
put Shido.
how's
I
Charles
put-
not the star of the
Oh, Charles?
above
I didn't put-
Kaiser.
I
How's he
didn't put
not above
Charles.
Kaiser? Kaiser didn't even do anything.
What? He was the one who lobbed that ball in a way that pits Rin and Shido
I'm talking about
together.
Kaiser, not Charles. I'm like, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I'm like, why?
I was gonna, I put Kaiser, and I'm like, wait, why did I put Kaiser? I'm like, I'm not doing this. I'm not changing it. But I still don't think Charles would have even gotten past even Isagi. Like, this whole chapter was
Humor
really
me there. Do a poll for Shara versus Isagi.
okay. Who had bigger who? What we want me to ask? Who had a bigger? Who had? I can't say bigger impact because Charles definitely had a bigger impact. But who stood out more?
Okay, Sean, I got a response about the adaptability thing. So I mentioned taming Rin because he has no idea right now how to tame him because Rin is not falling under the 4 egotistical types. I mean, you did a video on the 2 of them, but now it's been divided to 4, I guess, in a way. So his challenge is to find a way to adapt to it. Like as he says, he's the adaptability genius. And in the 166, he's never been in a system where everything is completely against him, per se. Like even in Team Z, it took a little while, but the team kind of like revolved around Isagi during training. Second selection, it was always about Isagi as soon as he devoured Bao. And then the hardest one I would say before Bastard would be the third selection, but by the end of the game, he figured out how Rin and Shido's weakness. And him and Rin were the core centers of the U20. So with a team revolving around Kaiser, you have to have an insane endurance to adapt to a team that's all against you, which is why he needed to take that challenge to say, Kunigami, right now I need you so that we can take this team to be ours. That is going to be my challenge, to adapt to a process that is completely against you. Because like you said about the children to adulthood, this is a child in a professional game. You gotta like adapt to the changes to become a professional. And also he also says this is gonna be a time where I'm not gonna dream about playing with Noah. This is me trying to take center stage. This is him becoming a professional. Sorry, I'm yapping too much. My fault.
No, that was great. Really well put, actually.
So it's actually close as to who. It's actually 50-50 right now, Isagi and Charles.
Let's go.
It's actually 50-50 right now.
That was the character I was initially most, or maybe aside from Shido, the character I was most excited to see in PXG. So I'm taking every scrap of character moments for him that I can get.
I know that.
Let's go. Charles won.
I don't know if you guys have picked up on.
I did that final vote, by the way, just to give Charles the red.
Oh, you asked. But I don't know if you guys have picked up on this, but I think it's really interesting. Oh, you probably have, and it's pretty obvious to say. But I think I just like it, because I want to say this again, that I like how Rin's flow state is all about, like, destroying, essentially killing. Like, you're destroying death, all that whole thing. And Isagi is all about adapting, rebirth. It's the complete opposite. You can kill him over and over again. He's just going to come back. So, I think that leads in, like, to my other point of that, why I think that Rin is still going to be number one, in terms of skill. Isagi might overtake him in the NEL because he's been playing better, right? But in terms of skill, Rin is still going to be better than Isagi until Isagi adapts and becomes better than Rin. Like, you can kill him over and over again. You can defeat him over and over again, but eventually he's gonna win. And that's what the whole thing of this is. Rin is gonna stay number one until that one moment where Isagi surpasses him. And I think it's super interesting.
Yeah, no, completely agreed.
Yeah. Okay, so does anyone have any more thoughts they want us to bring up for anyone in the chat? This is your chance. Send in your request for topics for us to discuss. If you have questions about our thoughts of anything, if you have, a debate we want to talk about, while you guys are doing that, we're going to start on this.
Someone said Kunigami scoring the game winner.
Oh, hell no.
I
Hell
feel
no.
like wait, was it Sean who said that Kunigami still has to do something as a striker because he's not gonna be fulfilled as just stopping Shido? Was that your video?
I really hope so. Yeah.
I think that was your
Really?
Yeah, like my take was that, like I put that in my previous video.
The fallen hero,
he
yeah.
needs another moment for his writing to come full circle. Because basically the thing is, Kunigami comes in the series. He wants to be a hero, right? And his heroism, is what kind of makes him survive the first selection and brings the entire Team Zets together. But then, he hits a wall with Shido, and then he leaves saying, "Okay, what did I do wrong? Where could I, where's my philosophy not keeping up?" So, and then he comes back in the NEL, kind of this empty void, right? And he has nothing. Now it's revealed he doesn't have any ego. And in my view, it's very clear that he needs to find an answer to the questions he was grappling with when he left for wild cards. And my assumption is that has to be in the NEL because, he was starting the arc built up as one of the two major plot points. One being the Isagi Kaiser rivalry, the other being, Kunigami's back and he's injecting his own energy into his new team, I guess. So if he just kind of fizzles out, I find that very strange given the setup, I guess.
Yeah. I'll say this. I think I have the exact opposite approach. I think because Kunigami has been doing nothing but stop Shido this match, that he is fulfilling his role. He is doing what he can. Because remember, he was playing offensive for the majority of the NEL, and he wasn't doing a lot. Like, let's recap his things. He got scored off of a pass from Isagi. In Manshine, he scored off of Isagi's missed shot. And in Ubers, he stole the ball from Ness and then failed to do anything with it in Ubers. So he slowly started decreasing in performance as a forward. But now that he's on defensive midfielder, he's doing his job. Like, his goal was to stop Shido. And I think this is a really good thing for what his entire previous ego was about him being a hero and all. He's come back as this dark knight. And now he's tasked with slaying the demon, eliminating Shido's usage. And that's what he's been doing this entire game since Shido's goal in like chapter 254. So over 20 weeks, about half a year, Kunigami has been doing nothing but exactly what he's been tasked to do. And the whole thing of, like, you want him to do better as a forward, I understand that. But I think Kunigami functions really well as a hero who can kill the biggest threat to his team. He's a supporting knight now. He's no longer the main superhero. He's a knight. He's just tasked with protecting the king, with protecting the rest of the team. And I think that this is him getting his revenge on Shido. Shido made Kunigami feel like nothing. He surpassed him in power. He overpowered Kunigami, who previously had the strongest physique in the first and second selection prior to Shido being introduced. Shido outmatched him in speed, but now Kunigami is overpowering Shido in speed, strength, and jumping power. As long as Kunigami's there, Shido is nothing. In the same way that in the second selection, as long as Shido's there, Kunigami was nothing. This is him getting his revenge. The fact that Shido has been able to do nothing just goes to show how well Kunigami is at getting his revenge on Shido. And I think people are comparing it like, you want Kunigami to do something as a forward to defeat Shido. But Shido doesn't play defender. So if Kunigami were to do something as offense, he would have to abandon his goal of stopping Shido, which means any offensive play that he does has no relation to Shido. He scores a goal, yeah, but how does that compare against him how does that him get his revenge on Shido? This is it. This is him getting his revenge, and people need to realize that that's what this is. He's getting his revenge. He's granted, he's writing him out of the story, but at the same time, them not doing anything just goes to show how well Kunigami is doing. So that's how I look at it. I see where people complain they want Kunigami to do more, but the fact that he isn't doing a lot, it just goes to show that he's doing his job. The fact that Shido hasn't done anything since his goals goes to show how well Kunigami's doing. So that's what I think.
I guess the thing I kind of run up with that is I'd find it a very boring answer. That's when, okay, Kunigami realizes I lacked something when Shido defeated me, then he gets swole and he wins because he has higher numbers. Is that kind of all the message there is to this? And just to be sure, I don't necessarily need him to do something as a forward per se. I don't care, whether he scores a goal or what kind of feat. I just kind of love to have him, re-examine his worldview. When he comes into the PXG match and Ego tells him, you don't have an ego anymore, you should just serve to further the purposes of this team. That's a very unlike BLUELOCK statement, right? And that's kind of requires a response, or it requires him going through some character development, I guess.
Yeah, to counter that though, like, realistically, I want to ask you, full honesty, in relation to Kunigami getting his revenge, what do you think they could have done aside from what they're doing right now? Because whether he does something, you said it doesn't matter if he scores a goal, right? So that eliminates him being that offensive player. That eliminates him being the striker who scores the goals. What else could Kunigami realistically do that would allow him to get his revenge on Shido? Because the whole thing is that Kunigami is a physical player. So going and proving his one main thing is really all he can do. He also unlocked being ambidextrous as well. But Shido is also a physical and fast player. So Kunigami went and trained in his one strength that he got completely outclassed in before to come back and say, listen, this is what I'm good at. You will not beat me in the one good thing I can do. And that's just going to show, like, in order for Kunigami to beat Shido, how could he do that without scoring goals and not doing what he's currently doing? Is, I guess, my question. Not just to you, but to anyone who wants Kunigami to be doing more, but still get his win against Shido. What could he do that doesn't involve him scoring goals, or what he's doing right now?
I would like him to at least articulate this, because I'd be perfectly happy if his answer is, I support as a knight. I just wish he'd say that. I wish this is like, okay, I found a new brand of heroism that doesn't involve scoring goals.
He might say it after the match when he and Isagi are having that stake, because they are going to have it again, and they're going to have that sit-down moment. And he obviously wouldn't address it in this match, or wouldn't be addressed in this match, because, like, he wouldn't need to say that to Shido or anything, because Shido doesn't even remember him. So why would he need to comment that to Shido, who doesn't even remember his original ego? So it's just one of those things. Cyan, you have anything to say? Because you've been listening to us ramble.
I think he still has like his like hero like ego like a little bit, because like he like still like helped Isagi and stuff. Like when he said, let's stay together again.
Yeah.
So and then like then also like when he went to stop Shido, he like kind of feels like the hero that's like stopping the villain, from scoring and shit. So I think that's Also, we need a wild card thingy.
Yeah, that's a big one for me as well.
I just think that whatever they do for the wild card, it's just going to be underwhelming. Like, the wild card was 2 months. I don't know how you can get from where Kunigami was being about like the caring person to where he is now. There's nothing in 2 months. I don't think you could get. There's nothing they could say that wouldn't be just too ridiculous. It's one of those. It can't be too ridiculous, and it can't be too just basic, because it wouldn't make sense. So I think it's one of the things that it's just
not do it.
Yeah, I think it's just kind of
a mystery, bro.
Because the wild card was 2 months. They went from second selection being completed, which took maybe a couple days after Kunigami lost, to 3 weeks to the U20 match, to where he left. So it was a month. It was a
month
month.
or 3 weeks or something like close to
Well,
2
no.
months. No.
Well, no, because he left the wild card after the U20 match ended, which was 3 weeks after the second selection. So it was less than it was less than a month. And with players like Naruhaya down there, and because I'm assuming most of them went to the wild cards because they wanted the second chance. Like with other players down there who Kunigami knows, like Naruhaya, he probably ran into Kuon, Iemon, Imura. Like he ran into them probably if they chose it. So I don't think he would have just been that quick to get rid of them or to kill them or whatever the hell he did. I don't think he killed them, but you know what I mean. Like, I don't know. It's weird. I don't think the wild card, no matter what they do, I don't think it's gonna be it's gonna be worthy enough of explaining Kunigami's drastic personality change. I think it's just not gonna happen. But
Okay, I trust. I trust
Yeah.
it'll be something worthwhile.
yeah, I hope so too, but I just don't know what I really don't know what they could do. I got one for you. All right, chat. I want you to tell me right now. Point A: is Shido overrated or underrated? Point 2: does Shido have Predator Eye? I've had this debate with 6 people, and none of them have provided me with any sound evidence. So, please discuss here. Do you agree? Is Shido overrated or underrated? I'll put the poll in, but I'll let you guys talk about it. Like you guys talk while I put the poll up.
Hey, do you guys know Olivier Giroud, the footballer?
No.
No.
Okay, because that's the guy Kunigami gives me a vibes of. He's like a superhero for France, but right now he's not like the Kylian Mbappe who scores all the goals. He's like the Dark Knight who just allows the best plays for France to happen. Like in the 2018 World Cup, he had like 4 or 5 assists, but he was the striker, but he would always go down to help his teammates. So I feel like Kunigami would be a perfect resemblance to him, the way he supports Isagi, like the Dark Knight supporter.
Yeah. It's so Shido. Is Shido overrated or underrated to you guys?
Definitely overrated.
We got one for
I'd
overrated.
say with like in general, he's rated
As a
properly,
player.
but because I'm hearing a bunch of people say he's overrated, so I'd actually say in this context underrated.
Underrated, really?
I
Okay.
feel like fairly rated because he's good, but not many people say he's good anymore. Especially before the Barca game, everyone was talking bad about him.
Mhm.
So I feel like it's fairly rated because like there has been a bit of glazing, but it's like no one was really saying anything about his worth before the Barca game. So I feel like no one's really like overhyped him before that. I don't know, but I feel like fairly rated.
Fair. So like where he's at in the Blue Lock rankings it's place 4 now, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's right. That's where he should be.
I have his stats. You guys want to see his stats?
Please. No, those aren't official though. Those stats aren't official.
Yeah, true.
But all right, I'm gonna explain why I think he's overrated. All right.
Okay,
Shido.
let's go.
Shido's feats throughout this series have either been against bums or he's been provided a genius partner. Take the third selection. The third selection, he didn't have any genius passer. He had Isagi who gave him a pass. But who was he up against? Some unnamed Bobs who have only played in that one game. They've only played in that one game. That's all we've ever seen of them. And Shido in the third selection was pretty good, right? But here, let's go into the U20 match. He was subbed in on the second half, and he was able to score 2 goals within 15 minutes and enter flow. But he was only able to do that because he had a new Gen 11 midfielder on his team. Give him any other standard passer, he's not doing that good. Give him Hiyori. Give him Hiyori at that point, he is not doing that good. He's only able to do good because he has a great passer. Shido has decent speed, decent physique, and erratic movements. Those are his core weapons. His shooting from anywhere in the box just comes with flexibility, right? Which I guess you could argue is another one of his weapons as well. But
Yeah, it is.
if you don't have a good passer who could send a pristine pass to Shido to wherever he decides to run to, he has no use. And it has to be a precise pass. Because if it wasn't Sai who sent the pass, and it was any other normal decent midfielder like Hiyori, he wouldn't be able to thread the needle and send a pass that went past Chigiri like it did in the U20 match to allow Shido to score his Dragon Drive shot. Because if it went over him, Chigiri would have caught up to Shido before the pass had dropped down. Because Chigiri is faster than Shido. When it comes to the NEL, Charles is hitting these insane passes to Shido. Right? But if you take away that genius midfielder, Shido can't do much. And I get it. There's people saying that Shido's in the top 5 strikers. If Shido's in the top 5 of strikers, it is because there is no one left for that 5th spot. I would say Bachata's better suited for that 5th spot. And I don't even think Bachata's that good of a striker, personally. But I think he can do overall what Shido can do and more. Take the top 3. Take Rin, take Isagi, and take Burū. Not only can they shoot and position themselves just like Shido can, and have the ability to shoot from pretty much anywhere in the box, but they also have weapons that allow them to get there with the ball. They aren't heavily reliant on a midfielder. Yeah, Isagi needs a decent passer to do 1-2 passes like Corona or Hiyori, right? But he has metavision to read the field of play to get him to those positions and know exactly where he needs to be. Corona, for example, isn't that necessarily great of a passer. Isagi is just guiding Corona to where he needs the ball to be. Isagi's manipulating all those plays himself. Shido just runs to where he wants and hopes the ball comes to him. But if the ball never comes to him, what's his use? If Shido has the ball outside of the box, how is he going to get there without giving the ball away and having to run there and wait for a good pass? Shido can't get the ball there himself. He has no dribbling feats, he has no dribbling skill. The only thing he can do is wait for a precise pass to come to him so he can shoot. That's what Shido's good at. And I think when you compare him against the other strikers, even Nagi, who Nagi himself has been shown to be able to dribble now. In the second selection, he was able to beat Burū in a one-on-one because of his specific dribble, because of his godlike dribbling. So I think when you put Shido against him, Shido hasn't improved since the third selection. And Shido hasn't advanced enough. He was good at the time, but now everyone's gotten to the point where they are way better than he is. And I think because everyone likes to hype up his U20 feats or third selection feats, they're disregarding that he hasn't improved in the NEL. Compare NEL Shido to U20 Shido, what's the difference?
Yeah, that's fair.
I think he's overrated in that regard. I think past Shido is fine. Where he was in the series in third selection is perfectly fine. But right now, he does not stand the same ground as these other strikers. And they're using his U20 feats as reference. Like, oh, he was comparable to them then. He was so good then. He's just as comparable now. He's not. That's just my thought process. Anyone have any comments on that?
Yeah, I think the thing that bugs me the most about Shido is that his stats go like 70% to hell when he's not in the box. So even if you could make the argument that he's a striker, he's not supposed to be helping out in the midfield or the defense. The problem is, even if he did, he would have been of no use because his stats go straight to hell. And he misses like 9 of the 12 shots he takes, like Loki says. So even as a striker, he's not even doing his job most of the time. He's taking like ridiculous shots in PXG. So he's actually getting a bit worse, in my opinion.
Yeah. And he used to be this great character who had great game IQ. Like in the match against Ryo and Kunigami, he was able to analyze all of their weapons almost instantly. But he just doesn't do that anymore. He's just been turned into the pervy character of the series. That's it.
Yeah.
He just turned into the pervert character, and it's just disappointing. But
in first selection, they showed like his IQ when it comes to finding the pinpoint passes. He found it the same way as Rin, but like they don't even do that anymore.
No, he just runs to wherever he wants and waits for a good passer to send it to him. Which is why I don't think he's gonna have any real use in the U20 team, like the New Japan U20 team. I don't think he has any use. Only because I don't think Sai is coming back. I don't know why he would. He's still playing for Spain. He's probably under contract too. And I think that with Shido, only person who could really help him is Hiyori. And even then, there's a lot better people to help than Shido. Like Baro, Rin, Isagi, Nagi. They're all way better suited for Hiyori to help as opposed to Shido. So, I don't know. Did anyone else, you guys have any other hot takes about? You guys want
I have a question. Where we are in the manga, we're in April, right? In terms of the BLUELOCK calendar.
Yes.
April and May.
April.
So could say realistically have started in January for like the main L'Oreal team? Because that is a possibility.
No, he started way before then because he was on the youth team. Because when we did the flashback with Rain Inside,
he had a contract, a pro contract, because he turns 18 before January.
And he probably signed a contract. He probably signed a contract because he was on their youth team. He was on their youth team. The only reason he couldn't play for the national team is because he was too young. I guarantee you, he went, got his passport, left, and just probably signed a contract because the NEL hadn't happened.
I'm wondering if he can do that in January or does he have to wait till like August? I don't know the football term. I'm gonna search it up real quick.
Yeah, I don't know. All right, so what do you guys think about the Nagi's current development? Do you think he's going to get a comeback? Do you think he's going to lose against Barcha? What do you think that match is going to play out?
He's going to come back.
Yeah.
He's coming back?
Yeah.
How
Yeah,
to what
sure.
extent? Because there's people who say he's going to come back and score 1 goal. There's some people who think he's going to come back and score a hat trick. What do you guys, where's your stance on this?
Oh.
I'd say like he scores 2 and then Rio scores 1, maybe.
Yeah. No strong feelings. Like, I wouldn't count out a hat trick if only, for the purpose of kind of putting him on the same level as, Baro and Rin again, to kind of, because they are all presented as the main rivals. So it might just be a question of, scaling at that point.
Yeah.
But does he need a hat trick though?
No, I don't think.
No, he doesn't. But
I mean, he's already like.
Goals are so nice to the fact that if he gets just 2 of them, he can get 88 mil, and that would put him right behind Barrow. No, that's a bit. No, he would need 2 insane goals that's like at least worth 100 mil to put him like close to Barrow. I think 140 mil is good enough for him.
Well, 1 goal is like what, 30 million? Something like that.
It's 20. It was assists were like 15 to 20. Goals were like between 30 and 50. I think. I don't remember. Corona mentioned it. Corona mentioned it in chapter
244.
244. I
But
can't
the
go to
bids are so rigged, so I don't even think we need to follow that. Because Nagi got a goal and got 88 mil from that.
Well, it was also dude. It's considered in the BLUELOCK series to be the best goal ever scored. Like, he beat a new Gen 11 and Isagi, the star player of BLUELOCK, with no difficulty. And that was also his first game, by the way. His first game on, he does that.
True.
In the BLUELOCK on social media, that is the best goal. Like,
Yeah.
like. So I don't think he's gonna score a hat trick. I think he's only gonna score 1. But what I think is gonna happen, Chigity's scoring 1. I think Chigity is gonna score 1 goal, right? Because I'm always a Chigity Glazer, and I think in every match he's been in, he's scored a goal. And I think that so long as he does that, he's gonna keep his value up, and he's gonna go above Kunigami, I think. But Chigity definitely deserves a goal. He's been doing so good. There's no reason to suggest he wouldn't. I think Ryo. It's going to be a little far-fetched. I think Ryo is going to copy Kaiser. I think he's going to with his physical training at Manshan City, I think him watching Kaiser, he was able to copy Sai after only playing against him in 1 game and looking at footage. I think, hear me out, I think he's going to do a drastically weaker version of the Kaiser Impact.
I love that, actually. That's really cool.
Because of his physical training, Noah Noah says that Kaiser uses his entire body in leverage for a swing. That's what makes it so fast. His leg is already fast at swinging, but it's the fact that he uses his entire body, right? I think that if Ryo works with Chris Prince to try and get the more flexibility in his leg, that he's going to be able to do it. And I think he'll score a goal off of that. And that would get his bid up. Because copying the unique technique of a new Gen 11 that no one else has been able to do, like he was able to copy Sai, but Reen's been able to do it. So it's not the exclusive technique, it's just very technical. The Kaiser Impact is way harder to copy. But if he's able to do it, that's definitely going to shoot him up at least 30 million, I think. And I think with Nagi, I think he's going to do not a 5-stage, I think he's going to do a 3-stage. I think doing another fake volley goal would be able to bring his hype back and would also shoot him up a lot more. Because he scored that 5-stage revolver fake volley, he's already shown to be able to do 2. I think if he trained to do 3, it's not far from what he's comfortable and able to consistently do, but it's still relative to his other goal that he's able to keep that hype from the BLUELOCK world. Like he's able to keep BLUELOCK social media like up there, right? Yeah, like Dumplings is like a chameleon impact for Rayo, but for Nagi, a 3-stage fake volley isn't the most far-fetched for me, in my eyes.
I just like. It's not too far-fetched. It just feels kind of anticlimactic in the sense that, okay, if his big final feat is something that's just worse than a previous feat, both in universe and out of universe, people are just going to compare, right? And they'll say, well, he's still fallen off because it's only 3 volleys, not 5 anymore.
Yeah.
Do you think he could do another bicycle kick? Like, do you think if he does a fake volley into a bicycle kick, like he chips it and instead of chipping it just up and slowly dropping it, like he chips it and push it and sends it up high?
Yeah, no, I'd be down for that. Just something either stay away from the volley, from the fake out volleys altogether, or kind of mix it up with something new. I mean, even if kind of thinking out loud now, you know how Isagi said he's copying Nagi's shot when he did the 2 revolver volley?
Yeah.
You know, it would be very cool for me if Nagi does the same thing, and that's kind of how we show their interactions, that then Nagi puts a bit of Isagi, maybe a direct shot or whatever, into his own plays.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true. We never got Isagi and Nagi interacting because Isagi interacted with Kunigami before pulling off the lefty shots. So I was kind of disappointed when we didn't see like an Isagi and Nagi talk or something.
Yeah.
No,
What's kind of-
we need a fusion copy for Rayo. We need a fusion copy. We need him to copy 2 skills of each player and combine them into 1.
Oh yeah, that would be fucking dope.
Like this, like the one of the Trishula from your thing. He says copying Sai into copying Kaiser. Imagine he was able
I'd
to
love
copy
that.
the speed of someone's thing and the curvature of like Reen's shooting, like Reen's curvature of shooting in combination with someone else's weapon. Like imagine his curve shoot. No, imagine the curve shooting into a knuckleball. I know it's to be impossible to do, but a curve, like you get the curve shot of Reen, and then as soon as it hits a certain point, it just drops. Like you can be a sword screw.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and he saw it with his metavision, so he could copy it because he basically saw Yukimiya's.
He saw it up close.
Time and then
He's-
copied it. Yeah.
And he saw the sword screw up close. Imagine a curvature shot. Instead of chipping it up and it goes down, he curves it from the side and then it immediately falls. So instead of going to, where it's aiming top right, it curves from the left side and immediately goes in and it drops into the top left corner.
You're like a super sharp curve or something like that.
Yeah. I'd really want to see a fusion copy. I think that'd be so insane. Because copying someone is cool, but if you can fuse attributes from each of their skills... Because if he's able to copy Reen's perfect kicking, his Travella shot, his kicking accuracy there, he could definitely copy it into someone else's skill. Like, that's what I think. I think it'd be interesting to see.
Basically just the Magnus.
Yeah, that'd be cool too. But I feel like they wouldn't. I feel like they couldn't give him the Magnus though. But I would love to see either a Kaiser Impact or a fusion copy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah. If that's all we have for today, I think that's where we can call it here. We've been going on for around almost 80 minutes so far. So I think that's pretty good.
Oh, quick! Can I ask
Yeah.
one other one?
No, yeah. Go ahead.
Do you expect a Nanase character moment?
No, I think he already had it.
Really?
I think Nanase might not survive the NEL, but I think if he does, I think he's had all the moments to kind of justify it. I think him having his moment of unlocking ambidexterity, becoming a post player, and so far he hasn't really failed in a way. Like, he's done his job. He's been a post player. Reen sends the ball to him, he sends it right back. I think that it's really he's done his job well, but I don't know if him doing his job well is enough to, you know, get to the point of him being. Yeah, he's doing good, but it's not enough to keep him.
Yeah, Ring doesn't need him. Like, he's already in destroy mode. He can like already do everything by himself.
Yeah.
So
And the good thing is, and the good thing about this is Blue Lock is that they're not screwed. Like, they still have these club offers that they can accept if they don't make it. Like, they still have these options of where they can go to learn and stuff if they want to play soccer still. They don't have to just quit completely. They just can't play for Japan. They can go play. Who voted for Nanase? Like, someone gave Nanase a bid. So if they give him, if PXG gave it, he can go play for PXG or whoever the hell bid for him. Like, it's not impossible for them to do that, but I don't know.
My final thing that I wanted to say before I dip out of here is Curio did a video on Ryo and Nagi being rivals mid-game because Nagi's best feats have come from being Isagi's rival, like trying to destroy Isagi. Do you guys think Ryo would try to become Nagi's rival to like try and light up a fire in him?
No. I think they've already technically they were rivals even when they left. Like, Ryo even said, we're no longer partners. We're rivals now. Like, even before in the second selection, he said that. And I don't think that it would make a lot of sense for them to not work together for the majority of the arc, come back for one game, and then just not consider each other to be rivals again. Like, because even before, they still worked together before, like Ryo and Nagi still hit 1-2 passes in third selection and the Manshine match. But I still don't think just going from being partners again just to immediately going back to rivals would be good for the story. I think they're still going to be partners in a way. I think Ryo's still going to be a midfielder, a good midfielder. But I think he's still going to be working. I don't think he's going to be trying to be a rival, someone who competes with Nagi. But
yeah,
Nagi is like significantly more Nagi.
Anyone else have anything to say before we call it the stream, or?
Hikaguri's the goat.
Yusuke, Metavision X Predator.
Yeah, that was a cool fan panel too. I really liked that. It was really good. All right, there was a fan panel that came out. This one guy on Twitter, he makes fan panels, and he made a Isagi doing a bicycle kick off of Ness's pass before Kaiser scored, like the chapter before Kaiser scored. Ness sending a pass to Isagi and him doing a bicycle kick and him unlocking Predator Eye and using it at the same time as Metavision, which is impossible to do since they work opposites, but it was still really cool to see. I'll send the panel if I can find it. But
yeah, please do.
All right, so I do have an announcement. On the 6th of September, which is this Friday, I believe, I'm going to be doing what I'm hoping to do is a 24-hour stream. For this stream, we are going to be watching all of the Blue Lock anime again. The entire thing. From episode 1 to the end of the series. All of season 1. If I can get it, we're going to try and watch the episode Nagi movie as well. We're going to talk about both of them. What we like about them, what we don't like about them, what we're hoping for the next season. The remaining 16 hours is either going to be me grabbing people. Hopefully you guys want to join in if you can. You don't have to stay for the whole thing. But if you guys want to join in for a moment, we're going to go in and we're going to just be talking about, we'll do a hot take stream. We might even do the game show that I have planned to do. We might even do the game show that I've set up because I think it'd be very interesting to see and do for a 24-hour stream. And if that's something you guys would like to do. I'm not going to actually put the whole thing on stream. You're not going to have the entire thing on stream. The audio is not going to be shown either. But I'll show you what I'll do. You'll see it. But it will be a 24-hour stream. The stream will not end until 24 hours has passed. We're going to be going from 10 a.m. on Friday to 10 a.m. on Saturday. When my video goes up on Saturday is when the stream will end. So if that's something you guys are interested in, tune in. It's going to be 24 hours this Friday. If these guys want to join in for a little bit of the time, they're not going to stay for the whole thing, but if they want to stay on and keep me awake, I'd appreciate it. But yeah, again, go check them out. Their channels are in the description, all right? Because they deserve love. They make great content. Join the Discord server. Satan helps us there. He you know, keeps our people in check and make sure people don't do stupid shit. Any remarks for you guys? Anything to say?
Subscribe.
Subscribe?
That's all to say.
Any remarks about Isagi and getting his ass kicked by Reed? Getting knocked on his ass?
It'll be glorious.
Oh, Hideo just tuned in. What's up, Hideo? How you doing, man?
Hey,
Sorry,
man.
we're just ending it right now. But, yeah, man. It'd be interesting. You know what? We're going to get him on. I'm going to try and get him on, too. We're going to try and get Hideo on. All right. But, yeah. Thank you guys for tuning into the stream. We will see you on Friday. And, oh, another thing. Before we end, I'm going to be a dick again. The chapter leaks are going to be coming out when that stream is happening. So we will probably look at the chapter leaks on stream as well. And then we'll do a breakdown of that on Sunday. So I hope to see you guys there. Thank you guys, and I'll see you on Friday.